guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Yolanda and welcome to Unfiltered Me. So for today's video, I'm just gonna be talking about breaking off toxic friendships and people and things that I've learned, especially the past 4 years of my high school life. I mean, like, we could really extend it to like elementary, middle school if we wanted to. And this is in no shape and form like directed to anybody or anything like that. It's just a general thing because I've not just met 1-2 people. I've met like a bunch of people, and yeah, I'm just gonna share my story. This is not to defame anybody or to just like, you know, bash on one particular person. No, I'm just telling you my general perspective, you know, on that topic of manner. And so yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this, and please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe down below. Make sure to turn on post notifications to be notified when I post. And if I do, let's get on to this video. So before we get started, I just want to make a little disclaimer thingy. So as you know, like, as I'm starting this new series, it's like there's gonna be a lot of changes kind of beginning. I'm still figuring out things, and at the end of the day, it's all so that it can be better for you guys. And so I think that I eventually want to grow into the uploading schedule that I have. I want to stop the series so far that I have on Wednesday and Fridays until like I get built up a little bit more, and then I want to start those because I just want to focus on one thing at a time, because I feel like there's so much going on in my mind. It's just like, what is this, what is that, what is this? Even though I've had a channel for years, it just feels like different. It's like a lot to like, you know, I'm still figuring things out a lot, and so I just really want to focus on what Monday's topic will be, and that will be like the same type of videos that'll come along for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then eventually, like, once I like get like, you know, like more comfortable with things, that I'll start adding like another series of cool things. But for the most part, this is the type of content I'm gonna be just, you know, we're just gonna be chit-chatting, just sitting here and like, you know, chilling. And so I hope you guys will still enjoy and will stick with me, bear with me through this. But it's still gonna be Christian content, in my perspective on life and things like that. And so yeah, let's get into this video though. All my life, I guess, like, I've always had friends. Like, I was like a little bit like more quiet and shy like in elementary, but I wouldn't say it literally wasn't until I moved, not into this house, but I lived in another house that's close by. And when I moved there in 3rd grade, oh my gosh, my life changed there forever. Like, I literally got out of my shell, man. I was talking to people. Even in middle school, like, I was really relevant and things like that. I feel like I was a lot more relevant than in high school. Not like, people know me, but like not like that. I wouldn't say I'm not a good friend now, because, you know, like, I did have a lot of friends before, but like now it's like 100% not as many. And yes, like, we all do things, but like, I don't feel like it's all like I'm a, you know, toxic or bad person. And so that's why I don't have any much friends now. But I think it's just really boundaries and things like that. And I guess a lot of that kind of stems from when I was in the Mormon church. You know, like, I kind of just accepted like pretty much anyone and everyone into my life. And I feel like there's a difference of like, you know, standing a person, like, how do you say, like, you know, like, being respectful of a person, even if like they're this or that. But then like being an acquaintance, kind of like that with a person, just be like a hey, hi, bye, and like keeping it short, simple like that. Then actually like bringing them in your life and like in your circle. And for me, my circle wasn't like it was like really big. And I think a lot of like the things I've been through in friendships, I mean, it really like stemmed from there. And it wasn't until like really going into my sophomore year into high school that I was just like, well, that's when I left the church though too, and that's when I really reevaluated my life, and I realized I was like really unhappy. And you know, even going beyond that, I still struggled, and not just because of the whole church aspect and like, well, actually, I mean, partly, yeah, because, you know, by that point, I mean, you get close with people, and it's like hard to like wanting to remove yourself from a certain group of people. And I'm not saying that it was like everybody, but like just for a certain group of people, because it's just like I'm no longer who I was then. Sometimes it's hard, especially like it be the closest people, not just like with friends, but even with family. Be the closest people that like, you know, be saying stuff or saying stuff about you, and like not accepting like the fact that people can grow and people can change, and people can have different mindsets, and kind of going along the lines of boundaries. And like, yeah, I might have been okay with this then, but like now things are different. That boundary being crossed too many times, it's just like, we finna have a problem here. And it's just like, yeah, like just things along the manner of that. And like, you know, despite through it all, I just realized at this point, I mean, it kind of makes me like really like happy looking forward to college, because it's just like, dang, like then you can start over. And like now that I've realized and learned a lot from lessons, not saying that like, you know, those people like ultimately like really really bad people, but like ultimately realizing that some people are in your life for like different types of reasons. And I think it's good to be able to recognize that and to be able to place them in those categories. Is sometimes it's hard, and it's hard for me to distinguish that with some people, especially with like old people in my life and wanting them to be back, but realizing that there's a reason why they're no longer in my life. So like, why am I trying to like bring them back, unless it's like actually like them actually putting effort and actually like accepting the person I am today. Like, then like, why am I trying so hard at something that enforcing something to work that should like is not meant to be working, you know? And yeah, like some people can be in your life for a season, they can be for a lifetime, they can be just maybe for a day, maybe they're just there for like a certain situation or for you to learn a lesson from it, you know? But it's important to distinguish those things, because I think that ultimately, like above all the religion thing and everything that, but above all that, it's just like, I feel like that is what really just like was my downfall. Because like literally not everybody's your best friend, not everybody has the best interest for you, not everybody wants to be your friend, and that is okay. And I think that was a hard lesson, especially, I mean, okay, now this stems back to the whole church part, but like being in the position like wanting to be so perfect and, you know, having to like adhere to like all these like standards and stuff like that, it was just like, I feel like with friendships for me, it was just like having to like be such like a people pleaser, and always like having to like invite people into my life that I didn't even want to, but feeling so obligated to. And I would feel so bad about it too, like genuinely so bad. And maybe people feel this way even not even in the church that I was even involved with, but like that was just like the reality in effect for me. And it's part of my story. I mean, like it may be different for other people, but that was just like, you know, my intake on it. Like I remember there was even a situation where like this person was like blatantly mean to me, and then I didn't want to be friends with them, but then I was shamed and like was like, oh, like you should just like get over it. And I'm just like, but you literally did X, Y, and Z. You're telling me that I should keep them still in my life. And that was like another huge thing though too that really messed me up, is that like, oh yeah, like despite what you do, like you always like had to like be accepted, like be open to still be friends with them, just like keep on letting them, like, you know, like just be patient with them. And for some people, maybe for some situations, okay, whatever, but for me, like I do not take that disrespect. Like you're not gonna sit up here like I'm not saying like I'm gonna go and like retaliate and be violent to towards a person. Like no, I'm not gonna do that. But what I am not gonna do is like, yes, like I can like, I'll be cordial with the person, and but ultimately I keep my distance, because in realizing that like, hey, like maybe we're just not meant to be friends, and that's that. But I'm not gonna try to force something that's not meant to be there, especially if they're hurting me. Like, why should I keep inviting them to my life? But it doesn't mean I'm not gonna respect them still as a person, but you're not just gonna be on my inner circle and things like that. So definitely, yeah, if you get anything out of this today, it's really like, you know, sometimes people are in your life for different reasons, and it's important to be able to distinguish that. And it's okay to cut off people that, you know, there's been lots of friendships I've had where, you know, they've compared their bodies to me, they've been always negative and like their thoughts about me, or when they like left me for like a guy, or just like all sorts of things. And it's okay to like not be offended with somebody because of that, because honestly at the end of the day, like your peace and your joy in life, like I feel like is like above all. And if somebody's like really disturbing that peace, instead of like retaliating and stuff like that, I hit the block button. I'm sorry, but like I could say a lot of things, right? But I'm trying to be better. But I just tell them like, hey, this isn't gonna work out, and it's block it, as simple as that. And sometimes it's just simple as that though too, you know. And even just like praying for the person too. Like I know I've done that before. Like I've prayed for people in my life, and things have somewhat got better. Sometimes things didn't really go the way that I wanted it to, but ultimately it gave me more peace over the situation, knowing that like, hey, you know, what you did to me or what happened in our friendship wasn't the best. It was a toxic friendship. I'm not a perfect person either, but we just didn't work out. But that's okay. I choose to forgive them. I choose to forgive myself for allowing this to go on. And I just really want to move out of my life. But I'm not going to treat them like an a-hole. But I'm just going to move forward and just block them out of my life. And so yeah, that's just my perspective on it, and maybe you guys feel differently about it. Maybe you feel like blocking people isn't it, but I mean, like, I'm all for unblocking them, but after a certain period of time, because sometimes you just need that space, because some people, you know, they just keep on coming back and just like into your life and try to like, and sometimes, you know, maybe that's all it takes is just having that space. And if they're gonna keep on coming back, maybe that's just good for the both of you guys to really just like block each other, get some space, or just to like be like no contact. Even if you don't want to block, you could just be like, let's just do no contact for a certain amount of period, or just however long you feel like, and maybe that can also help. But you know, we cope with things all differently, and it's okay as long as it works for you, and as long as at the end of the day, like, if you feel like it's right, then go with that gut feeling above all. So if you feel like you should block them, okay, block them. If you feel like you should just be like on no contact, be on no contact. If you feel like maybe you want them in your life but just like not as close, okay, demote them from best friend to close friend or to acquaintance. I don't know, but everybody falls into a category somewhere, somehow. Not everybody's your best friend, remember that. I learned that the hard way. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. You guys can get through it. And above all, you know, I was mentioning like the peaceful tactics and everything like that, because above all, like, you know, God wants us to love one another. We don't have to get along, but like, I'm often to pray for somebody's downfall and all that stuff. Like, no, like, I wish you the best in life. I wish you the 100 the best on any and all endeavors of life. But us is just not gonna work out, and it's okay. It's the reality. But you know, I'm not gonna go out there and go out my way to like make that person's life miserable. I'm just gonna keep on pushing it forward of life, and sometimes that's just all you gotta do. And so yeah, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget. Peace is already out.